Hello Manchester United family. Ruben Amorim doesn't understand key part of Man United job as damning verdict reached. Ruben Amorim watched on as Manchester United were beaten again at the weekend, with Micah Richards claiming the manager hasn't grasped aspects of the job at Old Trafford. Micah Richards believes Ruben Amorim is making it harder for himself, and he doesn't understand what he's doing when he speaks so openly with the media. The Manchester United boss presided over another loss on Sunday at Tottenham, his 9th in his 21 games at the helm. The Red Devils have struggled throughout much of his reign, with the Portuguese coach enjoying no traditional new manager bounce. Amorim has continued to speak candidly since day one, being openly critical if he feels that way. He called his side maybe the worst team in Manchester United history several weeks ago, and was frank in his assessment of Marcus Rashford, whom he allowed to leave the club. Richards claims his openness means everything in chaos, with Amorim under mounting pressure to turn things around, with United continuing to spiral down the table. He said on the Rest is Football podcast, when he said this is the worst team in United history, whatever quotes he wants to use, what he doesn't understand is that's a headline every single week. If he doesn't like a player, if he doesn't like Rashford, that's his decision. We can accept that as pundits, that's your decision, we respect your decision. But all the other stuff around it, he's actually making it harder for himself. He doesn't understand what he's doing because everything is chaos. It's chaotic. Defeat in North London means the Manchester outfit have now lost 8 of their last 12 Premier League games as they look set to post their worst campaign in decades. Amorim's latest frank admission saw him underlined how difficult his role is. What you see, guys, and what you discuss every week, I also see. I have a lot of problems. My job is so hard here. But I stick with my beliefs, he said on Sunday. Gary Neville has confessed that Amorim's decision to speak so publicly about his identity has stuck a flag in the ground. The 40-year-old said from early on that his philosophy was paramount and he would not veer from that regardless of the results. The Sky Sports pundit said, "He has died in a ditch in respect of saying early on he will not change his idea, and now he can't. That's an issue in some ways because there was probably a better way of getting those 11 players into a system that would have made them more comfortable. But he can't change because of what he said previously. He's sort of stuck a flag in the ground, and that's the way he's going to go down." Callous, Manchester United slammed for ticket price greed for second time in a month. Fans of Fulham have followed Leicester City in criticizing Man United for hiking ticket prices for their FA Cup fixtures at Old Trafford. Fulham Supporters Trust have followed their Leicester City counterparts in criticizing Manchester United for raising ticket prices for away fans in their FA Cup ties at Old Trafford. Tickets for Premier League away games are capped at £30, but United attempted to charge Leicester City fans a minimum of £51 for their 4th round tie recently, and have now set prices for Fulham fans in the 5th round between £51 and £61. Both clubs would be entitled to an allocation of over 9,000 tickets, but Leicester City ended up taking only around 1,000 fans, with many deciding to boycott the fixture. Fulham have currently taken 3,099 tickets. The Foxes Trust were critical of United's decision to significantly raise prices, and now the Fulham Supporters Trust have also taken aim at United executives. They have written to their club's CEO Alistair McIntosh asking if Fulham will subsidize prices above the £30 Premier League limit. But in the letter, they are critical of the greed on show at Old Trafford. Despite the game being on television with a resulting cash windfall for both clubs, it appears loyal legacy supporters simply do not matter to the hierarchy of the modern-day game. They wrote, Manchester United FC have regrettably and callously set the price significantly above the usual Premier League away game price cap of £30 per ticket. Given the pricing decision was taken exclusively by executives at Manchester United FC and not Fulham FC, we hoped you might consider a gesture towards our fans to demonstrate you understand the lengths they go to when supporting their club. There is an irony to the complaints about ticket prices at Old Trafford after Sir Jim Ratcliffe's crass comments about United not charging as much as Fulham fans pay to watch their team at Craven Cottage. In an interview with the United Stand fanzine, Ratcliffe said, "It's an emotive one, ticketing, but we have to have some benchmarks with ticketing. We must make sure that we look after the community because at the end of the day, it's their football club. We need to make sure that people who are genuine supporters can afford to go. Maybe their circumstances don't allow them to spend a fortune on tickets, The issue is whether this is the thin edge of the wedge. I don't think it makes sense for a Manchester United ticket to cost less than a ticket to see Fulham. Ratcliffe has since hiked the price on unsold tickets for United fans to £66 this season, and he was called out on that decision by some United supporters after watching them beat Fulham at Craven Cottage last month. Casemiro makes surprise admission on Man United career despite Real Madrid trophy successes. Casemiro has surprisingly named his debut season at Manchester United as the best of his career despite being a serial trophy winner during his spell at Real Madrid. Casemiro has made a shock claim that the best season of his career was his first at Manchester United. The midfielder, 32, may have won 18 trophies, including 5 Champions League titles, while at Real Madrid, but he reckons his debut campaign at Old Trafford, where he helped United to the Carabao Cup, was the period where he performed to the highest level. And with his future at Old Trafford continuously being called into question, the Brazil international has also suggested that he is determined to remain at struggling United and fight for his place. He returned to the starting lineup for United's latest defeat away to Spurs on Sunday afternoon, his first appearance in the Premier League since December. Looking at my career individually, my best season as a professional footballer was the first with Manchester United. I'm not saying collectively in terms of titles. Madrid's Champions League is the ultimate, but as a player I think Old Trafford saw the best version of Casemiro in my first year. Casemiro then said that he is planning to see out the rest of his contract at United despite falling down the pecking order under Ruben Amorim. And with 18 months remaining on his deal, the 32-year-old has said he would like to remain in Manchester despite firm interest from clubs in the Saudi Pro League. As quoted by AS, Casemiro said, "Above all, I respect Manchester United, a club to which I'm very grateful. I have a year and a half left on my contract and I'd like to fulfill it here in Manchester. I'm comfortable here and so is my family. They've adapted, we speak English. I'm very grateful to the Old Trafford fans and to the club. I'm happy at club level." Casemiro is one of the Premier League's top earners, with a weekly pay packet of £350,000, and United remain eager to offload their big salary players to allow for a squad rebuild in the summer. Man United legend Mark Hughes lands shock manager job with EFL's worst team. Carlisle United, who are bottom of League Two, have confirmed the surprise appointment ex-Manchester United striker Mark Hughes after sacking head coach Mike Williamson on Monday. Former Manchester United striker Mark Hughes has made a surprise return to management after being appointed head coach of League Two strugglers Carlisle United. Hughes, 61, had been out of work since being sacked by fellow 4th Division side Bradford City in October 2023. The Welshman takes over a Carlisle side currently languishing rock bottom of the table and on course to suffer back-to-back relegations. The Cumbrians sacked ex-Newcastle defender Mike Williamson on Monday, following a run of 5 defeats in 6 games since the turn of the year. Williamson, who was only appointed in September. Micah Richards defends Casemiro amid Manchester United struggles. He needs help in there. Manchester United's dismal 2024-25 season hit another low on Sunday as Ruben Amorim's side fell to a 1-0 defeat against Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The loss, which leaves United languishing in 15th place in the Premier League table, has sparked widespread criticism of the team's performance and tactics. However, former Manchester City defender Micah Richards has come to the defense of Casemiro, insisting that the Brazilian midfielder is not solely to blame for United's struggles. A season of frustration continues. The defeat to Tottenham was United's 12th in the Premier League this season, a damning statistic that highlights the scale of the team's regression under Ruben Amorim. James Maddison's early goal proved to be the difference, as Spurs secured their first-ever Premier League double over the Red Devils, having also knocked them out of the Carabao Cup in December. For United, the performance was yet another example of their inability to compete at the highest level. Despite having opportunities to equalize, the team lacked cohesion, creativity, and defensive solidity, with no player emerging from the game with any real credit. Amorim's decision to make just one substitution, bringing on debutant Cheeto Obi for Casemiro in injury time, raised eyebrows among fans and pundits alike. The Portuguese manager's reluctance to make changes earlier in the game was seen as a missed opportunity to inject fresh energy and ideas into a struggling side. Casemiro struggles under the microscope. Casemiro, who was restored to the starting 11 due to the absences of Casemiro, Manuel Ugarte, and Toby Collier, endured a difficult evening in North London. The Brazilian midfielder, once hailed as one of the best defensive midfielders in the world, looked a shadow of his former self as he struggled to cope with Tottenham's dynamic attacking play. According to SofaScore, Casemiro lost possession 12 times, made 2 fouls, and was dribbled past 4 times during the match. His inability to keep up with the pace of the game was evident, and he often appeared isolated and overwhelmed in midfield. However, Micah Richards believes that Casemiro's struggles are symptomatic of a wider issue within the team, rather than a reflection of his individual decline. Richards' defense of Casemiro: he needs help in there. Speaking on Match of the Day 2, Richards argued that Casemiro is being unfairly singled out for criticism and that his teammates must shoulder some of the blame for United's midfield woes. A lot of people are quick to call Casemiro, but he needs help in there. United's midfield, Richards said. His legs are not what they were, but he's still got quality on the ball. Richards pointed to the lack of support Casemiro received from his teammates, particularly in Amorim's 3-at-the-back system. He highlighted the failure of United